On today's episode of the Duck Zone 503 podcast, we preview the safety position heading into spring ball 2023. I'm your host, Dominic Peterson. This is the Duck Zone 503 podcast where we talk all things Oregon football. Whether this is your first time viewing, guys, or your long-time viewer, kindly ask that you go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button down below. Really helps with the algorithm, but you know what helps even more than that? I bet you already know. Telling your friends and family about the podcast, guys. Literally word of mouth helps grow the podcast the fastest. Really appreciate everybody who does go ahead and subscribe down below and goes ahead and follows all our social medias on Instagram and Twitter at DuckZone503. Go ahead and do that right now. If you haven't already, pause the video, go do it and come back. All right, you guys did that. Great. Spring game is April 29th, 1 p.m. I will be there or be square, guys. I'll be there. We're continuing our Oregon Duck football spring previews with a look at the safety position today. The Ducks lost safety Verone McKinley last season to the NFL, and we're hoping to see a new star step up in that role this last previous season, right? Unfortunately, it was a tough go-around for this Oregon secondary this last year, no doubt. More than often getting beat, resulting in a ranking near the bottom of the college and the bottom of college football against the pass. Let's just be real. I mean, it was really bad. Christian Gonzalez, though, was a bright spot for the team. He was pretty much the one and only bright spot of the team for the defense. He's off to the NFL now. Okay, projected first-round pick. Let's go Gonzo, yee, right? He's gonna do big things, but for the Ducks as a team, that's a big loss. And you kind of look around in the secondary. There's not that guy. There's not that guy that sticks out as maybe a projected first-round pick, right? So we're gonna have some work to do. There's gonna have to be some development. We're going to talk about it, right? So you could also blame, though, last year's performances on the front seven, okay? The lowest number of sacks since the mid-'80s. Literally no pressure on the quarterback. I think all year they only had like 18 sacks last year, which is abysmal. Not good as a team. So that doesn't help the secondary at all. If Oregon get more pressure, that will certainly help the secondary. That's one step. But there's going to have to be just better one-on-one play as well. Former Oregon safety coach Matt Powledge goes back to Baylor as the defensive coordinator just after one season here at Oregon. Lanning goes and hires a new safety coach in Chris Hampton. Hampton comes to Oregon after spending the last 2 seasons in New Orleans at Tulane University as the defensive coordinator for the Green Wave. Tulane finished with a 12-2 record in 2022, a season that was capped off by a 46-45 comeback win over the USC Trojans in the Cotton Bowl. And us Duck fans, man, we love seeing USC eat it, especially against smaller schools, man. Tulane did that. I love watching that. So, impressive performance from Tulane, capping off 12-2 record. I know, I get it, guys. I hear the comments. 45 points though. They allowed 45. Hey, they got the win. And when you're going against guys from USC, wide receivers from USC, I mean, yeah, there's going to be points on the board, but Tulane was able to get it done. We go ahead and get Chris Hampton. Gone is Matt Powledge. Thanks for the one season. I mean, he didn't really do much for us. I mean, he was a good recruiter, no doubt, but I mean, scheme-wise, I mean, there was some questionable things, guys coming off the ball and stuff. But we'll see how that improves this season coaching-wise with Chris Hampton. All right, so let's go ahead and preview the players now. Let's get into the field safety side. We got Brian Addison and Evan Williams. So Oregon landed another big addition from the transfer portal when former Fresno State safety Evan Williams announced his commitment to Dan Lanning and the Ducks. Evan Williams is the younger brother of former Oregon safety Bennett Williams. So as you guys know, Bennett Williams was just here. Evan spent the last 4 seasons playing at Fresno State. He earned an All-Mountain West honors in 2021. And guess what else he did in 2021? He played against the Ducks. You remember that game before Ohio State? The smoky game? Yeah, Evan Williams was here. Go watch the tape. So the 2021 year was his best year with the Bulldogs as he recorded 92 tackles, 59 solo, 4.5 tackles for loss, and snagged 3 interceptions. Brian Addison's also returns to the Ducks as a veteran leader with a unique body type as a safety. Addison stands at a towering 6'5", 195 pounds. So his size can be a useful tool in Lanning's defense, never the doubt. Just a very unique body type. You pair that with the addition of Evan Williams, just adds to the room, tackling machine, right? Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. But just tackling machine. Absolutely awesome. All right, let's go ahead and move on to the boundary safety now. Boundary safety, you got Jamal Hill and Steve Stevens. Okay, familiar room there. Both Jamal Hill and Steve Stevens have played quite a bit last year, and I think they'll continue rotating like that this year as well. I feel that both players do have a lot to show. They both have a lot of experience playing with each other, hopefully playing in also year 2 of Lanning's defense. Hopefully both their productions can go up. It hasn't been really impressive showing for both those two. I mean, Jamal Hill in 2020 really stood out in that Pac-12 championship game, had himself a time. Then he got in trouble, early last year, and then this year he did well. He did okay. Steve Stevens, personally, not really a big fan of Steve Stevens. I don't really like what I've seen on him with film. Kind of small, always late, doesn't really tackle that well. But I'm always hoping for the best. I'm not here to just drown guys and give my opinion and just poop on guys literally. But I'm not doing that. I'm not here to do that. What I'm here to do is praise these guys and hope these guys play to their fullest potential, because that just helps Oregon win at the end of the day, right? So really want to see Jamal Hill and Steve Stevens play to the fullest potential. I think that is a lot of guys in the secondary. I mean, look at Dante Manning, right? 5-star kid. If that kid plays anywhere near where he was, projected to be, he's a star. Jamal Hill plays anywhere near where he was playing at the level of the 2020 Pac-12 championship game, he could be something special. Steve Stevens develops and keeps practicing and gets better in the system. I mean, he could be something special. So I just can't wait to watch the development under Chris Hampton and see what he can do with these guys. Let's move on to the start. Excuse me, guys. I'm going to go ahead and get a drink of water real quick. As you can tell, there's something in my throat. So I'll be right back. We'll go on and preview the star nickel safety side when we come back. All right. Welcome back, guys. I had to get a quick drink of water. Sorry about that. Through the whole episode, I know you guys can probably tell. Those kind of dry today, guys. All right. So we left off at the star nickel safety position. I'm really excited to talk about this one. We got Tyseem Johnson and JJ Greenfield. The Oregon Ducks added another defender from the SEC when former Ole Miss safety Tyseem Johnson committed to transfer to Oregon. Johnson has 2 seasons of eligibility left remaining, so that's good news as well. And this guy's a guy, man. This guy's a player in the SEC going against the best of the best, right, in that conference. He had 78 tackles with 4 for loss and 2 pass breakups over 13 games with 9 starts last season for the Rebels. So we're talking about starter on an SEC squad that did pretty well last year. The 5'10", 200-pound Johnson was a 4-star recruit, ranked 270th nationally, number 17th among safeties in the 247 sports composite for the 2021 class. So, 4-star kid, started for Ole Miss, put up numbers, and we just get him handed to us in Oregon. I mean, what a treat, right? The Ducks didn't really have a true nickel safety last year, so adding someone with Johnson's skill set could definitely be a huge bonus for this defense. JJ Greenfield is also another solid player to back up Johnson's minutes. Greenfield's been around the program for a while, so like I said, when these guys adapt in year 2 Atlantic system, it's going to be good. Overall, this safety room looks the same as last year. Okay, you lost a guy in Christian Gonzalez who's a DB. He's not really a safety. You bring back a lot of the safeties that come back. You lose Bennett Williams, get his brother. You add his brother in, who's a really productive for Fresno State. And then Tyseem Johnson, man, adding that kid's going to be big time for the defense. Lanning continues to add big-time transfers from the SEC on defense. You got Jordan Burch from South Carolina, this kid from Ole Miss. Kyrie Jackson's a DB from Alabama as well. So, man, love what Lanning's doing. Love what this staff is doing. I think the safety room did get better. I think up front, if that room can get pressure on the quarterback, I think you'll see better improvement from this room as well. I do kind of want to stress that there's going to be we're going to need a leader. Okay, I know these guys all are pretty good, solid players, but there's not that one player that's like Christian Gonzalez where it's like, okay, we can rely on this guy to lock that side of the field down no matter what. None of that. So we're going to need an emphasis on some pass rush and as a team to just better coverage. We'll see what Chris Hampton's scheme looks like, back there, kind of see what he's going to do. I don't expect too much change, but we'll see what it looks like. I don't think we're going to see too much in a spring game as well. So we'll see. Again, guys, I really appreciate everybody tuning in once again. I'm your host, Dominic Peterson. This is the Duck Zone 503 podcast where we talk all things Oregon football. If you haven't already, Go hit that like and subscribe button down below, guys. Also, social medias at DougZone503 on Instagram and Twitter to get the quickest Oregon football updates from me. I'm continuing rolling out the spring previews, guys, on all the position groups. Go ahead and check out the videos on the channel if you haven't already. I'll be at the spring game April 29th. If you guys see me, say what's up. See you guys in the next podcast. As always, go Ducks, baby.